guys, it's Emma and I'm back today for you with another video, and today I'm doing a book review. Haven't done one of these in a while, alright? However, I have, maybe 4 more lined up after this, so we're pumping out some book reviews, okay? And the book that I'm reviewing today, if you couldn't already tell by the title, is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is about 2 authors, Augustus Everett, who writes literary nonfiction, and January Andrews, who writes romance. And both of them are complete opposites, particularly in what they write and what they enjoy reading. The only thing they really have in common is that they're going to be neighbors for about 3 months, and well, one day, 1 or 2 things lead to another, and they decide to strike up a deal that will bring them each out of their creative ruts. Essentially, Augustus is going to try to write something romantic and really happy, and January is going to try to essentially write the next great American novel. And they're going to do this perfectly, and no one's gonna fall in love at all.
Liar, liar, hoe on fire.
So the content warnings for this book are as follows: alcohol abuse, death of a loved one, child death, and then mentions of child / just overall physical abuse / neglect. Beach Read is one of 2 disappointing reads from 2025 that I read after I came up with the whole list. Monstrilio is the other one. I just didn't have enough material to make a whole video about Monstrilio. I want to put a little disclaimer right here. This is a negative review video, so I mean no hate whatsoever towards fans of this book, fans of this author, or to this author herself, okay? These are all my opinions. My opinions are subjective. Reading is subjective, and I really did not have a good time with Beach Read, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all why. So before we actually get started, I would really appreciate it if you guys would look down in the description box for all the links there that I have for you guys pertaining to stuff going on in the world right now, and those links would be down there for you guys to interact with and to share. And then down in the comment section, let me know whether or not you guys have read Beach Read, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, whether you agree or disagree with things that I have to say about Beach Read, what your favorite Emily Henry book is. The works, right? So with that being said, let's just get running into it. We're just gonna start off with the pros first. My pro for this book is the writing is awesome. I loved the writing in this book. It, for one, is incredibly descriptive. I flew through this book, all right? The writing is so fluid and it is just so fast. And I really appreciated the intention of showing the humanity behind characters. It's the idea that these people are still people underneath, and that these people are, of course, still loved by others for various reasons. So I really appreciated that intention there. Also, girlfriend, the tension in this book, really well done, all right? If there's one thing that Emily Henry can write in a romance book, it's tension. We gotta get into the cons, y'all, all right? The first con that I have is with the childish characters, all right? We're gonna talk about January first. I didn't hate January. She's not awful. She's not insufferable. I got irritated as hell with her every few times, but I was also rooting for her every now and then as well. My main problem with her is that she pole vaults to conclusions, and or she runs away from uncomfy situations. And I'm not exaggerating when I say she runs away from uncomfy situations. There will be a character that of course she doesn't want to talk to, because talking to this character would be an uncomfy situation. Just being in the same room with one of these characters is very uncomfy. I completely understand that. But instead of handling it like, I think the, mid 20-something-year-old that she is, she will literally hide, and I mean like hides, like crouches behind something, cartoonishly, like comically, looks to make sure that the coast is clear, and then she books it. Like if you put some like wacky little running music over that, we would have a Scooby-Doo segment. Pull out your phone, pretend that you're on a phone call, and walk out of the room, bruh. Like it's the cartoonishness of it all, really. Girly pop, you're literally sneaking away like a little kid. I can't stand it. I found it very odd how infantile January acted at points. It was just very weird. And then Gus. Gus. Yeah, okay. He just comes off as this over-the-top, pretentious, broody dude. It's that over-the-top thing. It just gives that January has to like save him, and even the way that January acts gives that as well. And I'm sorry, the whole thing of like, I can save him, or I can save her, or I can save that. Girl, do you see life alert tatted on my forehead? No? There's a reason why. And this leads me into like him just being inconsistent with his actions. All right, like he'll tell January, hey, would you like to come to my relative's party, you know? And January is like, oh, of course, am I invited? And then he'll like wait maybe a few days or whatever, and then he'll be like, well, you know, if you wanna.
You better talk to her before I do, because I'm hurt her feelings.
Okay, but am I invited? I mean, you can come if you wanna. Answer the question! Am I invited or not? It's that type of inconsistency where he'll be like turned on, and then like maybe the next day he'll be like, I mean, yeah, you can come with me if you wanna. What the dude? Him being inconsistent with his actions throughout this book, mind you, all right, when it comes to January, just makes it that much more irritating with the whole thing of, oh, well, January can save Gus. By save, you mean teach him to actually answer questions in a proper way? By save him, you mean teach him how to respect other people's time? Yikes! There's a difference between you being bad at replying to messages versus you just not replying at all. Okay, and then there's also a difference between you being like, oh yeah, no, I totally want you to come to this party one day. And then the next day being like, I mean, yeah, you can come if you want, because now it sounds like you don't want me there. Honestly, Gus is just dickish sometimes. Like, he is just mean. I may be looking too deeply into like the whole, oh, well, January has to save Gus. I don't care, it comes off that way, and I personally despise that. It is not your job to quote unquote fix somebody if you are not a licensed therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, etc., etc., etc. Especially if that person does not want to be quote unquote fixed. Now we have the banter. Like I said earlier, I really liked the tension. I think Emily Henry is great at writing tension. However, it sort of bleeds into the banter. The banter for me is 50-50. I liked some of it, but then the rest of it honestly had me rolling my eyes. This con is based on the fact that if I had known that cheating was going to be a main thing in this book, I wouldn't have picked it up. All right, I want that to be known. I admit that, I acknowledge that. But honestly, even if I liked the cheating trope, I don't think it was really well done, so we're gonna get into that. Listen, I can't get behind this romance. I cannot get behind a romance that is based on cheating. So while they're writing these books, January finds out that Gus was married, and she's like, oh wow, you know, like how did that end? You know what I mean? And why didn't he tell me about it? I was originally on Gus's side. I was like, I mean, girlfriend, that's not really any of your business, you know what I mean? If it's one and done and he was married and it's no longer a thing anymore, why is that any of your business just right off the cuff, right? We find out that Gus is not in fact divorced. Gus is separated. Gus's wife had cheated on him with his best friend. Wild! All right, and so of course he's separated from her, and they're working out the finalizations of their divorce, but essentially he is not divorced yet, right? He is only separated. When they start the fling together, him and January, in my humble opinion, you are still with the person even if you're just separated. Okay, you're not with that person anymore until you get divorced, until it's finalized. If you have a marriage that is even just somewhat recognized by the government better unrecognize that shit before I do anything with you, all right? Because it's just the principle of the matter for me. I may be looking too much into like the titles or whatever. I don't care. You are not fully separated from that person until you divorce. I say this knowing, full knowledge that Gus's wife, go play in the street, please, okay? Because cheating with your husband's best friend or friend of any sort, electric chair. Yes, I am on his side when it comes to his wife having cheated on him. Nobody deserves to get cheated on. Why don't you just break up with the son of a bitch? I really don't understand it. You really think that you can have your cake and eat it too? Oh my gosh, grow up.
This is the first time in my life that I've been provoked to hit a woman.
Anyway, I'm on Gus's side with that. What I'm not on Gus's side with is the fact that he lies to January about it. All right. When I was saying earlier that if you are divorced and it's been finalized and you are no longer attached to that person anymore, it's not really your partner's or your potential partner's business right off the cuff. Okay, emphasis on that too, to know about that. But if you are not divorced and you are still just separated, if you still have ties to this person legally, all right, you might want to tell somebody that. No, Gus did not tell her anything. Yes, January found out, but it's the fact that Gus was never going to tell her. Never going to tell her. And if he was, when? At what point was he ever going to tell her, oh, hey girl, yeah, DTF, but just so you know, I still technically have a wife. It's the fact that he essentially led her on, you know, and was willing to do that. That's the problem, all right? Yes, the cheating is the problem, but it's also the lying. And yes, it's lying by omission, but it's still fucking lying, all right? That really just makes it that much more sour. I understand if you don't want to talk about it immediately, but we've, I don't know, had sex up against your bookshelves how many times at this point? And we're building an intense emotional relationship right here. I would think, I don't know, you'd want to at least give a hint, reference to it, if not just summarize it real quick and then brush by it immediately. Personally, I would stay 60 feet away from somebody who kept something like that from me, not marry them. Because yeah, at the very end of the book, she marries him. She forgives him for not telling her that, oh yeah, hey baby doll, by the way, you're the other woman. You're the other woman, baby doll, by the way, just so you know. January reflects on that maybe once and then never again. The reason this is very disappointing for me, particularly this, is because essentially what happens in this book, January's backstory is she has an amazing life, an amazing relationship with her parents until one day her dad, I think, has a stroke or a heart attack. Her father dies, right? And she finds out after he's dead that he had an affair, the whole shebang. I'm talking not only secret woman, secret house. These cheaters are ballsy in this book, I'm telling y'all, all right? Because you want to know the real cherry on top? Her dad's mistress shows up at the funeral, all right? That's one thing, but she doesn't sit in the back. No, ma'am. You know what she does? She comes up to the wife and the child of the man she was cheating with and is like, oh yeah, no, here's his final words. He wanted you to have them. Bitch, why do you have them? Ooh.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Oh, I need to calm the hell down. If I had been January, I never would have been allowed back in that church because blood would have been spilled on those pews. Anyway, so the entire book, right, January is, at least in my opinion, understandably livid at her dad and this woman, because this has essentially added a layer of uncertainty for almost all of her happy memories, right? Or all the memories where her dad wasn't in the picture. And she's like, oh my gosh, well, you know, when he went to the store, was he actually with this woman? Or, oh my gosh, when he was on a business trip, was he actually just laying up with this woman at their secret house? So, the fact that January only maybe once reflects on the fact that she is the other woman, that she finds out, that she is the other woman. The fact that she only reflects on that maybe once is very disappointing because she's spent the entire book livid at her cheating father and his mistress. I would think, oh shit, I have just now unwillingly become the very thing that I have been pissed about ever since my dad died. You know what I mean? I would be livid. Because how dare you, you broody, pretentious SOB, how dare you make me the other woman? Again, personally, I wouldn't marry the dude, but I guess it's just me. I guess I'm just a kitten caught in a tree. We could have had a huge opportunity for some introspection or for some internal exploration or anything of the sort. Something to make January feel more well-rounded. But no, the third con that I have with this book is the half-baked introspection, all right? And I'm not just talking about January's here. That's already one and done. If I talk about her lack of internal exploration anymore, I think my head might explode. Like I was saying earlier when I was praising the writing, I really appreciate the attempt at being introspective about cheating, about forgiveness, about still loving somebody despite the mistakes that they've made, whether they're grievous or not. The only problem is that it all just comes off as half-baked. And the feeling of it being half-baked is not helped whatsoever just by the sheer lack of internal exploration into Gus's and January's relationship. This half-baked introspection, at least to me, has to do with the dad and the other woman, Sonia. Of course, we're supposed to see the dad and Sonia as humans that have made the mistake. Right? We're supposed to see them as the people that they are. I don't think that we're supposed to just see them as, oh yeah, no, they're cheaters. You know? That's what I'm talking about with the attempt at humanizing them. But that's not how it ends up being. The only time we see and really discuss Sonia and the dad is when we're talking about them having cheated together. And that's it. We're not supposed to see them as their mistakes, but their mistakes are all they're written as. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys here. Even if somehow the writing was able to give us fully fleshed out introspection of Sonia and January's dad, and we were therefore able to see them as individuals, as their own people, and not just as cheaters, even if the writing were able to accomplish that. Personally, okay, I cannot, and honestly, will not, sympathize with a dude who cheated on his wife when she had cancer.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you needed comfort. Oh man, I'm so sorry that you felt broken. Damn, I'm so sorry that you needed companionship. Fuck off, Dr. Seuss. And I definitely don't want to sympathize with little Miss Sonia talking about, oh well, I didn't really see it as cheating until your mother's diagnosis. Quote, on page 314, Sonia's eyes scrunched tight. That didn't feel real to me until your mother's diagnosis. Oh, so it didn't feel like cheating until you saw that the bitch might die. Oh, well that makes it so much better. Rot, both of y'all. And honestly, when y'all get put in the ground, I hope that the worms come and take your eyes and your genitals first. I'm supposed to sympathize with that? Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. I give Beach Read 2 stars. Like I said, if I had known that cheating was going to be such a huge part of this book, I would not have picked it up. But I think I've explained decently enough that even if I liked the cheating trope, the cheating aspect in here wasn't even well handled. If I'm gonna be honest, I probably will not even remember that I read this later on in the future. So you guys, that was my review for Beach Read. I hope that you've enjoyed. I might pick up another Emily Henry book just because her writing is... I loved her writing. Her writing, if you couldn't tell from the whole video, is the best thing about this book, at least in my opinion. Probably not going to be this year, though. Unless she pulls an Allie Hazelwood and then she just all of a sudden spouts off a werewolf romance. In which case, shit, I'm a simple girl. Okay, so you guys, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope you continue to look out for more stuff on my channel. I hope that you guys are staying safe, and lastly, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.